Coach, Freddie said that the game management at the end was not very good as far as winning fouls and not taking possession. Is that what we saw towards the end, which contributed to the goal at the last moment?
I would open that up to not just, what Freddie said, but, controlling tempo. You're up 1-0 at home, more possession, not possession, playing the ball backwards to your goalkeeper because, you can play forward. Guys in those forward positions need to want the ball. I would say that finishing goes along with that. I mean, finishing another chance at the end to make it 2. When was the last time he scored 2 goals? You would think that it's a team sport, Mickey. So, what I saw at the end was a team that just needed to do a little bit better in all phases. And I need to do a better job of giving them the confidence to play and possess the ball at 1-0 and get them to understand it's not just all about defending. You got to be able to possess the ball. You got to be able to, like Freddie said, go up in the corners, waste time, all of that. Sometimes I think our team is too honest.
Nico?
Coach, Christian also said that the way to keep this frustrating, deflating loss from farther affecting the team, you got to focus on the positives, the things that were done well tonight. What are your thoughts on how to making sure that you just...
The positives were we created a lot of chances. Positives were they put energy into the game, as always. The positive was getting Nico back on the field. The positive was Steph Fry warming up with the goalkeepers before the game. The positives were Christian coming back. The positives were JP's play. I thought Kellen Rowe had a good game. I thought there were plenty of positives for the game. But it feels like a loss.
And is that the best way to make sure that this tie doesn't affect...
We already told him that. And we'll reinforce that message. But I also said that things don't get any easier. So let's be prepared for the work. Let's not be afraid of the work. Let's not be afraid of the responsibility of, where we're at. You guys probably see the score in Kansas City. So we're not going to shy away from anything, Nico. So that's a positive.
Maz, do you have one?
I do. Brian, in terms of creating chances but not finishing, is there anything you can do about that, or is just continue to create the chances and goals just come in bunches?
You continue the chances. The one thing we tried to do at halftime is, look, the 2 center backs were very big and good in the air, and we tried to not throw as many crosses in the air, the ball on the ground, in behind or between the goalkeeper and the center back, attacking the prime assist zone a little bit more, having a little bit more patience. When you cross balls from out near the touchline and they're floated into the box, for a center back that's 6'4", that's easy for them to defend. But turning the corner, running at them, or having patience and dragging them over, and then we go out the other side, and some of those things we tried to work on in the second half. We had some good moments. We had some good moments where we got the ball down the end line. The run that Christian makes from, positive, the run that Christian makes from way back here all the way here, plays the ball across to Raul. Those are chances that normally we're going to finish, and then the game's over.
What does it do to your team to get Christian back? Part of the process, guys are coming back. How much of that is...
That's part of the positives. Look, we're not going to sit here and, doom and gloom and whatever. We got a good team. We're confident.
Alonzo?
Thank you, Alex. Coach, you have been using 5-3-2 or 5-4-1 since July, that you have played 7 games, and only in 1 game versus Houston you scored 2 goals. Do you think the offensive tactics is coming too predictable when it comes to finishing?
Well, I think some of this run and stretch of games is, we were down. We had, a good result in Austin playing that way. Games are hard when you're missing a bunch of guys. So what I saw tonight was Christian playing where I like him to play, and he was effective. Freddie had a good game, obviously. He scored the goal, but he was good in the pockets. I think we need to, make sure that Alex and Brad and Jimmy Madranda become more effective, maybe that's a little bit one that I can look at and say, do teams know, the strength of our outside backs? But, I just think we have to execute. I think we got ourselves in good position, to Maz's point, and we just didn't execute.
El señor de Lima.
Thank you. Diego, from Perú. Usted tiene dentro del equipo jugadores sudamericanos. ¿Cree usted que está aprovechando el talento de esos jugadores al 100%, conociendo que el jugador sudamericano es habilidoso y juega siempre a los pases cortos? ¿Cree usted que los está aprovechando al 100% o no?
You have South American players. Do you believe that you are taking 100% advantage of the type of players that you have in South America that are skillful and that are used to playing short passes? Do you think you're taking advantage of that?
Yeah, I think so. When we had Jordan Morris, maybe we were a little defensive and we were a transition team. But I think this year we've been, relatively good in our possession. Again, Nico coming back is going to help. I think JP has been very good in possession. I think Christian does a lot of running forward, but him and Alex, in the wing channel has been good. Again, I thought Kellen Rowe was good. Freddie likes to play possession. So I think yes, the answer to your question is yes.
Sí, mi respuesta a su pregunta es que yo creo que sí. Tenemos varios jugadores que anteriormente teníamos un jugador como Jordan Morris que era más una forma de juego en la cual trabajábamos los pases largos, ¿no? Sin embargo, hoy en día que Jordan ya no está, hay muchos jugadores latinoamericanos con los que jugamos, pero que les gusta jugar con posesión. Y como por ejemplo JP le gusta jugar con posesión, Freddy Montero le gusta jugar con posesión, Nico, que está regresando de una lesión, también es un jugador que le gusta jugar con posesión. Y creo que eso nos permite utilizar esas habilidades de los jugadores latinos, que es manejar la pelota cuando estamos con posesión.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I know Kelly has one or two on Zoom, so we're going to go upstairs to her, and we will come back in here to close. Kelly, go ahead.
Thanks, Alex. We will start with John Lupo.
Brian, you mentioned that Nico came back tonight. For his first game back, how do you think he did?
Well, look, it was a pretty short cameo, but the storyline of the game could have been, welcoming Freddie Montero back to our club this season, him scoring an important goal. We bring Nico on the field, we close out the game, we have 3 points, and everybody feels good. So it might be a little premature to judge Nico on 8 minutes of play, but it certainly was a boost mentally for the team to have him back on the field.
Okay, next, Coach, we have Felipe Makeda.
So, Coach, it was a very important moment when Nico Lodeiro stepped into the field. The fans gave him all to him. What was your feeling in that moment when Nico Lodeiro stepped into the field?
Very happy. He's worked hard to get back with the group, and that's the reward for all of his hard work to try and, come back from knee surgery. I think the fans were excited, and rightly so. He's been a big part of our franchise for many years, and, it was a good moment. It's just unfortunate we couldn't close the game out.
Kelly, is that all for upstairs?
Yes, that's all for us.
Okay, thanks again. Guys, we'll close in here. Any final follow-ups? Alonzo, I see you first.
Coach, Jara and Ricardo from FC Dallas subbed in the minute 66. You only made 3 subs, and when they subbed in, the FC Dallas was attacking even more. Do you try to control if you could sub Josh or Sissoko or Leiva to control more the midfielder?
Sure. I mean, look, Josh has a not a broken rib, a bruised rib, so I was a little hesitant. And again, I thought JP and Kellen Rowe were very good. Danny comes in and gives more possession, you are correct. I'll think about that one. AB might have been a little early for him because who are you going to take out? Normally you don't switch center backs, you don't change your back line, you don't like to. And, you know, Brad and Madranda, they have to, you know, continue to play well back there. I'm not so sure it was the substitutions. I think it was just the overall team that needed just in those moments to have a little calmate and, you know, just close the game out.
Last couple. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned earlier that although this was a tie, it felt like a loss, right? It can be demoralizing. So the question is, what's your message to the team to get them to forget about today and then focus on the upcoming games? How do you get them motivated at this point?
Well, you tell them how you feel. And I don't think there's one player in that locker room that doesn't feel the same as we coaches do. I mean, they all felt it. The fans felt it. It's like they popped the balloon and all the air came out. So, you know, you just have to keep going. The strength of this club has always been its resilience. We've always had moments where the club has gone down and, you know, mid-season there's been challenges and we seem to, you know, have those moments. It's MLS, it's a hard league, but then we always find a way towards the end of the year to come up. I did talk to them about our next opponent, a very good Tigres team. And then we have a 3-game road trip with Portland, Dallas, and Columbus. And that's about as hard as you're going to find in MLS. So you talk about it, you get it out in the open to prepare them for the work that they must do to overcome and try and collect some points. And, you know, look, we're gonna try and beat Tigres. I mean, they're coming to our place. We want to have a good performance there.
We'll do 2 more. Back row.
Aaron, Coach. So now we're seeing it's beautiful to see the stadium full. We're seeing all the people from Seattle coming. What will be your message for them that are coming? And they're seeing the team battle, but not that win that we need now to maintain the first place.
I think our fans have always been loyal fans. You know, they've always supported the team whether we win or lose. You know, it's always, again, I'm a fan and I feel bad. And I know the players want to prove to the fans that they deserve more out of certain games. But again, also it's pro sports and you can't win every single game. And what I always say is that this club is the relationship between the players and the fans. That's been like that since 1974. And the players always give everything that they have for the fans. And as long as they continue to do that, you know, then I'm okay with occasionally losing a game or drawing a game. That happens. We certainly don't like it. The players in there don't like it, but they give everything. They give everything for themselves, their teammates, and the fans.
Nico, why don't you close us out?
Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I did want to ask you, I mean, you said that you definitely want to win against Tigres, but does the last couple of bad results, does that change in any way perhaps how you approach that game, thinking of how difficult the next trip's going to be?
We have 5 days rest, and then after Tigres, 4 days rest. I certainly am going to think about the starting lineup, look at all the sports science that we do, try and get Nico back a little bit more game fitness. There's certain things that we're obviously going to think about, Nico, but this club, again, the reason why we have been successful is because we want to win every game. And we have to continue to believe that. We have to continue to believe. It's my job to make that group of players believe that they can have success against any opponent. Against Tigres, against Portland. That's my job. And that's what we're going to continue to strive for. And look, Tigres is a good team. We all know that. But I want the team to have a good performance. If you have a good performance and the result doesn't go your way, that's better than if we play flat or we don't make the effort or something, then it starts to pick up like, where's the confidence of the team? I need them to come back. I need them to play hard against Tigres. We'll see what happens. Then the same thing applies for Portland. Maybe that's a good game, a rivalry game to get us, fired up. So we'll see.